G'day legends, Riley here from RD Auto Electrics and welcome back to the channel. Today you are tuning in to episode 4 of our Ranger Rundown series. Now this is a super special, iconic episode because it is going to be the last episode in our Ranger Rundown series. Now, not because we've run out of things to talk about this thing, because I could talk to you about it all day, but because we've actually sold the vehicle and it is off to the new owners next week. So I guess the big question is, what are we going to be replacing it with, and how have we found it for the time that we've owned it? The replacement at this stage is still a secret. What we can tell you is that it is a Toyota. We do pick it up next week also, and we'll obviously be having a full build series on that vehicle as well, and of course a big reveal once we pick it up. So really looking forward to that. But before we get stuck into that build series, we obviously have to wrap up this one. We've absolutely loved this vehicle. We've had no issues with it whatsoever. We've done some epic trips in it, and we've really loved the layout of the canopy, the vehicle itself. And honestly, apart from a small couple of things, there's really nothing about this build that I would change. So I guess it's time to jump into this episode now. And really, it's going to be a review of the vehicle. We're going to run you through what we love about it, those couple of small things that we would change next time, and then it's time to wave it goodbye. So let's jump into the episode. So I guess the first question is, have we found the vehicle in general, and would we recommend purchasing one of the V6 next-gen Ford Rangers? The answer is overwhelmingly yes. We've loved the car. We had the previous model prior to this, which was the PX3 3.2 litre 6-speed automatic, and now this is the next gen V6 10-speed automatic. In my opinion, it's a massive jump up in quality. Ford have done an incredible job with the motor and gearbox pairing. The power of that V6 combined with the 10-speed automatic, it's just something else. Super happy with the power and fuel economy. Even fully loaded as it is now, we get around 12 litres, 13 litres per 100, which I think is really reasonable for a vehicle that's just over 3 tonne. Haven't had a single issue with the vehicle at all. The only time it's been into Ford is for a couple of recalls, which were mainly for software issues with the entertainment system, some software updates for the entertainment system as well, and for general servicing, which are 15,000k intervals. So it's been for 3 services, and that's it. It hasn't seen a mechanic for any other reason apart from that. We've been on a trip up to Carragini, Exmouth, down to Esperance, heaps of local trips as well, and it hasn't let us down. Been really happy with its performance. So anyone that's looking to purchase a dual cab ute, in my opinion, the Ford Ranger definitely needs to be up for consideration. The cabin as well is super roomy. The seating position, driving precision is all great. We've done a couple of big travel days, over 1,000 kilometres a day when we were heading up to Carragini, and it was comfortable, good to drive, super impressed. If I could give one little piece of criticism to the next gen Ranger, there'd be 2 things. First of all, the automatic stop start. I hate it, it's a pain in the ass. Obviously you can buy aftermarket modules to override that so it doesn't keep turning back on every time you start the car. So they are available, fairly cost effective, quick fix. But yeah, it'd be good to have an option from factory to be able to turn that off, and that it stays off. Because at the moment you can turn it off, but every time you turn the car off and on again, the automatic stop start comes on again. So bit of a pain. The other thing is the lane departure warning and the driver fatigue warning. Now that is also a pain. Doing those long drives, you do find that it keeps telling you that, you know, driver fatigue warning, pull over and have a rest, even on fairly short trips where we're only sort of driving for a couple of hours. And if you don't have 2 hands firmly planted at 10 and 2, it's not happy, which realistically no one drives like that. So apart from that, absolutely love the car. Just a couple of bits of extra tech that obviously are a huge safety benefit, but can be a little bit of a pain as well. So a review on the wheel and tyre setup as well as the suspension that we're running. So just a reminder, we're running the dynamic steel rims in a 16 inch, I think. 16, 17, something like that. 17 inch, there we go. And we're running the Falcon Wild Peak ATs. Now, these have done just over 50,000. And no joke, I reckon I've still got at least 60% tread on them. So really impressed. I only got the Falcon Wild Peaks because I couldn't get Nittos, which is what I wanted at the time, because I'd ran those on previous vehicles and been really impressed. So these were really just a backup, recommended to me by the tyre shop, and they've been brilliant. The handling, on-road, off-road, beach work, they've been phenomenal. Really good in the wet as well, super quiet on the road, and I would 100% run them again and definitely recommend them to you guys as well. We've had some haters of the Steelies, you know who you are. But honestly, they're fairly cost effective, nice strong rim, and would I run them again? Yes. Am I running them on the new Toyota? No. So that's all I'm going to give away on that one, but 100% would run this setup again. Suspension wise, running the Dobinson suspension system. It's a 3-inch front, 2-inch rear kit. It's running the IMS shocks front and rear. Once again, this is not my first time running Dobinson. Super impressed with the ride ability of the vehicle, the handling, perfect. As far as suspension settle, obviously you had a little bit as expected, but it's still sitting very nice and level, and I'm really impressed with how it's handled the last 50,000 Ks. We've done some heavy corrugations up between carriageen and Exmouth, handled really well. Plenty of beach work, obviously carrying quite a hefty constant load with the Canopy and all my gear in it, and been really impressed with how it's all performed. So same as with the rim and tyre setup, I would definitely recommend Dobinsons to anyone that's looking for a quality suspension system. And in particular, I would recommend dealing with Corey from Malaga Suspensions in Perth. He's really great to deal with, makes really good suggestions and recommendations on what works best for you specifically, and definitely would recommend having a chat to him if you are looking at doing a suspension upgrade. So that's about it to talk about regarding the tyres and suspension. We'll have a quick chat about the Canopy now. Okay, so on to the big ticket item now, which is our Canopy system. Now, there's definitely some pros and cons to this one. Have I absolutely loved this Canopy? Yes. Is there a couple of things that I probably would change next time? Yes. They're not big ones, but it's just little things that you learn along the way each time you do a build that you change when you do it again. So I've been really happy with how the Canopy has performed. Obviously, you guys would be aware, as we've mentioned in previous episodes, we did have some pretty major issues with the Canopy when we first received it, but the guys did get it sorted for us. So they did come to the party and get all of those issues resolved, which really, like I've said previously, is all you can ask. There's always going to be issues. It's how you deal with them that counts, and the guys at Sam Custom Motor Bodies did get it sorted. So at the end of the day, we're happy with the result. We've had the Canopy on plenty of super dusty roads, plenty of wet weather days as well, and the Canopy has stayed clean and dry inside, which is obviously the main job of the Canopy, to keep everything inside the Canopy clean, dry and out of the weather, which is done. So super happy with that. So as mentioned, we've obviously done 50,000 Ks in the vehicle. The Canopy's been on here since day one. We've had it in a number of various different weather applications, hot days, cold days, rainy days, dusty days. And all in all, it's performed really well. I've been impressed. Would it have been nice to have it like that from day one? Yes. Did I have to jump up and down a bit to get it sorted? Yes, but at the end of the day, it's all sorted now, and that's what counts. So would I recommend running one of these Canopies? 100%. I'd just recommend that when you do pick it up, make sure you check through everything really thoroughly and make sure that everything's as requested prior to leaving. That's about all the advice I can offer on the Canopy. Well, now it's time to chat about the power system. This beautiful looking power system. How have we found it? Have we had any dramas? What would we change? So firstly, just a quick overview again of what we're running. So we're running a custom lithium 280 amp hour battery and the Enerdrive E-System F board, plus obviously lighting, Bushman 130 litre upright fridge. What else? Obviously the water pump, a few other bits and pieces like that. So have been super impressed with the power system. There's not a single occasion where it's let us down. What I'd change next time, because we run induction full time and don't carry any gas, I would go a slightly larger battery, because I find the 280 amp hours, sometimes if you get a few cloudy days, you're not doing a lot of driving, you can catch yourself out running a little bit low. Not a big deal. Obviously, if that happens, we just go out for a drive for a couple of hours, recharge it, and we're good to go. So it's not a biggie, but I definitely would go a little bit larger next time, around that sort of 300 amp plus mark. Which now, the good news is, Custom Lithium offer a battery that is physically the exact same size as the 280 compact, but it's actually 310 amp hours. And that was released just after we put this 280 amp hour in. So we are actually running the new 310 compact in the GQ Patrol. So we're looking forward to testing out the difference in how that performs as far as runtime compared to the 280. But obviously it's another, 10%, so quite a bit. As far as the rest of the power system, it's all performed really, really well. I've been super impressed with how all the Enerdrive gear has performed. As we always remind you guys, nothing in this build is sponsored in any way. We paid for the items just like we would if we're building a system for you, so we don't have ties to anyone. We don't have to tell you that it's great. We can give you honest feedback, which is what we're doing here. But yeah, no complaints with that at all. Obviously that's running the Cymarine battery monitoring system, which I absolutely love. I've had it in previous vehicles and I would highly recommend the system to you guys, and would definitely be looking to run it again in the new vehicle that we're building. As far as the other bits and pieces, lighting, water pump, Bushman fridge, super happy with that all as well. Wouldn't change any of that. Just a reminder with the Bushman fridge, the only thing I do find is that if you have it fully packed, you do get a situation where the air is a lot cooler at the top as it is down the bottom in the door. So I do find that things like milk and juice, when you're keeping it in the door and the fridge is fully loaded when we're doing bigger trips up to Carragini and stuff like that, the milk is cold but not super cold, and after a few days it does spoil. So there is a couple of options, a couple of companies that sell little fans that go in there that wire into the door light that are supposed to be the GO. It's supposed to solve that problem. Personally, I haven't tried it yet, but it is something that I'll be looking to install in our new build, so I can give you guys a bit of feedback on if that makes a difference to the situation. The only other thing I find with the Bushman is that you do have to do a defrost every sort of 3 months, which Bushman recommend anyway, so that's, that's a pretty obvious sort of one. So you simply turn the fridge off, put a towel in the bottom, let it defrost, all that ice to come off the bottom of the freezer, and you're good to go again. So we do that a couple of times a year. Apart from that, happy with how everything's performed. Apart from the battery size, wouldn't change a thing with the power system. And I definitely find this layout to be great. It keeps heaps of usable space throughout the canopy. It looks nice, and everything's easy to get to if you do need to access it as well. So really happy with how all this has performed. The Bushwhacker gear, the shower tent, and the Extreme Darkness 270 awning. At the time of purchasing these products, we were not a reseller for Bushwhacker. We bought these as you would being a normal customer. Loved the gear that much that we decided to bring on board and start stocking their products. So we now have a full range of Bushwhacker gear on the shelf available for you guys, because we are really impressed with how it performs. Obviously the shower tent is on the core off-road bracket, which allows it to swing out, which same deal again, been really happy with how that's performed, and I would 100% recommend it to you guys, and I will be running it again on the new vehicle. One thing that I possibly would change is I might try having the shower tent on the other side. Now obviously we've set it up on this side so we can obviously still have the canopy door fully accessible when the shower tent's out. Only thing is that when you've got the 270 awning out as well, you do have to drop the 270 awning back to get the shower tent out, because obviously the 270 comes right around to here, and then that doesn't allow you to get the shower tent out as well. So I was thinking with the next vehicle that I might try swinging the shower tent off the front side and see how that works. It just means that you wouldn't be able to get that rear passenger door open when the shower tent's out, which, I don't know. It might work better, it might not. So we are probably going to give that a crack with the next build and then go from there, see how we like it. If not, we'll go back to this positioning. But apart from that, there's nothing that I'd change with the awning and shower setup. Been so impressed with the Bushwhacker products. The shower tent is so quick and easy to set up. It's great even if you're not showering in it, just for getting changed, bit of privacy. The 270 awning, honestly, cannot fault it. I've had it in some pretty hectic wind up in Exmouth, probably higher than what it's rated to. We just put the single leg down and pegged that one leg, and that was it. Apart from that, I think that's the only time that I've actually dropped the leg down. We've just used it as a full freestanding awning for the rest of the times we've used it. We've used it heaps. We've had it in the rain as well on our recent trip down south and performed really good. We just pegged those middle sections to stop the pooling in the middle, so the water drained off nicely. And honestly, I absolutely love the Bushwhacker products, from the strength of the awning, the quality of the canvas, the inbuilt lighting, the ratchet straps that you get included with it to fasten it. They've just ticked all the boxes, hence why we've brought them on board and become a stockist for them. So 100% positive feedback on the Bushwhacker gear. Yes, I would recommend it to you guys, and 100% we're running Bushwhacker gear on the next build as well. Well, I think that's where we're gonna wrap up this episode, guys. Obviously, there's a heap of other bits and pieces that we haven't included in the review, like our GME UHF system, our clear view mirrors, all that sort of stuff, our bar work, but that's all been really good. We've been super happy with it. If you do have any particular questions about our Ford Ranger, the build on it, all the products that we've used, you're looking at doing a similar build yourself, please get in contact with us. We're always happy to help steer you in the right direction. Even if it's not a product that we offer, such as wheels and tires, suspension, stuff like that, more than happy to offer some suggestions on some trustworthy people in the industry that we could recommend to you guys. So, bit of a sad episode saying goodbye to the Ranger, as obviously we've absolutely loved having it, but definitely bigger, better things on the way for the channel and for us as far as the new vehicle that we're picking up next week, which we are super excited about. We cannot wait to start the build series on that vehicle because it's going to be a ripper. And of course, we can't wait for the big reveal. If you do have any guesses about what the new vehicle is in particular, definitely drop them in the comments below. There's obviously a number of things that it could be. You know, you've got the new Prado, which we have test driven. The new Lexus, which I guess is still sort of a Toyota, which we've also driven and loved. We've got 79 series Land Cruiser. We've got 300 series Hilux. So there's a few to pick from there. And we're going to leave the guesses up to you. So if you have a guess, chuck it in the comments below. We're obviously not going to tell you if you're right or not until we do the big reveal. The risk is there are a couple of people out there that know about the build already, that have seen the vehicle, that are working on it currently, and that we've spoke to about it as well. So hopefully we can keep them out of the comments. But if they chuck it in there, there's not much we can do. So we'll take it as it comes. But thanks again so much for tuning into our Ranger Rundown series. We've obviously given you an extensive rundown on the whole build and now a review on most of the important things as well. But we really appreciate you supporting the channel and our Ranger Rundown series. It's been really great filming with you guys. We hope you have enjoyed this series, and that pretty well wraps it up. We're bringing this series to a close, but at the same time, next week, we're starting a new series. So exciting times ahead. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up, guys. That is it from us. Thanks again so much for joining us, for tuning into the channel, for your constant support of the channel. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. That's it from us, and we'll catch you on the new build series shortly.